Right, hello. If there's anyone even there, I've been having technical difficulties because the weather is absolutely horrendous where I am, so it is completely screwing with my internet, and it's taken me 10 minutes to get everything to even remotely work, so... Hello. If there's anybody even there. YouTube seems to be working finally. Can I get Twitch up and running as well, or is everything going to die horribly? Twitch, do you feel like working now? YouTube, are you going to work properly? Right, okay. YouTube seems to be up and running properly. Twitch is now on its way, finally. Ah, hello Gemini Sierra. How are you doing? Sorry it took me nearly 15 minutes to get this stream up and running properly. But, the technology just doesn't seem to be playing nice with me today. Oh look, Twitch is finally working, and it's still giving me more stupid pop-ups that I have dismissed. Go away. Thank you. Right. Okay, we can get started now. Hello everyone in the chat. Hello everyone in the Twitch chat. Right. Hello, I'm Dread Mechanic. Everything seems to be working properly again now, so... Right, I haven't been able to make much content the last week, because I've had stuff going on, which I'm not going into, but it's kept me away from my computer for a few days. At some point I will get round to recording the next episode of Alien Survival. Hopefully I'll get started on that tomorrow. But for the moment, in the meantime, I thought I would just do a little bit of streaming this evening, whilst I tinker with this bloody great big thing. Which I'm still working on. I've been working on this Titan on and off for probably over a year, bit by bit. Right, so yeah, everything's good now. Everything's all working correctly. Cool. I can turn that off. Right, okie doke. Oh hey, Engineered Coffee, how are you doing, dude? Right, so this is my monstrous Warmaster Titan thing that I've been building. He's a little bit bigger than the lore scale, because Warhammer lore, the scale of things in Warhammer lore means absolutely nothing, basically. It's all written by different people, and none of them seem to understand architecture or size and scale. So, I tried building this in small grid to the official sizes, and it didn't even come up to the knee, and I could barely fit my player inside it. So I built it in large grid instead. So, as you can see, he's pretty big. He's got lots of the small, large grid wheels to keep his feet safe on the bottom. And the main way into him is through the bottom down here. So, each little foot has got... it's still kind of basic at the moment. I want to do some more decor in here, eventually. But each foot's got, like, a basic little sort of turret, not turret, bunker kind of thing going on. It's got a bunch of guns, well, a bunch of weapon racks that I can fill with guns. And you can see out of all sides of all the feet. I probably wouldn't advise standing up in here while it's moving. You will just get slammed around. But I've also got some cargo access to things down here, and ooh, that's a couch. And each foot also has a refill station, so that people can not die. And then we can head up through the interior of the leg, which I'll just fly up because it takes forever to climb. If you've seen my real-time ascent video, you know how long it takes to get up to the top of here. So, We are now in the ankle section of the left foot. And the ladder just goes up the entirety of the legs. There we go. I'm stuck on something. Now we can go all the way up. Whee! And eventually we'll get to the top when we see the red bit. On my signal, there we go. There's a red section. And we are now at the top. Well, we are now at the left knee. And there's another refill station here, just in case. Right, let's go higher. So I've set up these ladders to kind of hopefully offset them. Internet, come back please. Thank you. Typical. The weather this weekend would have to be absolutely horrendous. Oh my god. You're gonna sort yourself out? No, you're not, are you? Come on, internet. Come back to life. Or just piss about, whichever you prefer. Are we gonna connect again properly? Or are we just gonna sit there at a pitiful speed? Come on. Are we back? Okay, I think we're back. We're back at a relatively decent speed. Yes. Yes, okay. Bloody internet. Never straightforward, is it? Right, okay. Right, I think that's okay. Where was I? I was here. Oh yes, because I've climbed up the inside that leg. We are now in the hip section. And this now leads into the actual body of the mech. So we are now inside it. So we're now in the hips. That's the left leg over there. Then we go across here. That leads us to the right leg, and we can climb all the way back down that side if we wanted to. And I've been working on pressurizing all of this stuff bit by bit. I also need to set up a few sensors to automate some of the doors. Ah, hello, Death13A. Praise be Omnisire, indeed. So, in here we have a survival kit, one of the shiny new looking ones, and a couple of beds for some crew, along with a little bit more weapon storage and stuff like that. We've got beds to sleep in. And over here on this side we have a little mess hall for the crew to eat in, and access the access to food processing and stuff. Again, I need to build some sensors in here to automate these doors, but I'll do that in a little bit. Do joints have auto repair? Unfortunately not. This thing is 98% vanilla. I mean, I might be able to squeeze in some welders and stuff here and there, but I tend not to worry too much about auto repair on mechs, because it's a massive pain in the arse thing to try and do without using plugins for subgrid welding and all that kind of nonsense. If that kind of stuff was more vanilla, I would be more inclined to incorporate it properly. But it has got quite a fair bit of armour, so... Right, so we've now climbed up another ladder into the midsection. We're probably about in its stomach. We've got more refill stations either side. And in here, this strange looking room is the gyro control, or the ridiculous turning system that I've got in here. So there is a whole bunch of gyroscopes here, mounted on a big rotating platform, and that is what the mech uses to turn left and right, as the control station for this mech is not attached to the main grid. So I had to come up with another way for gyro control. And then we can climb up this ladder, and that takes us to that takes us to the beacon for our balance control system. And where did I build the ladder that... Oh yeah, I built that ladder that takes us to there, and then there's that ladder that takes us up even further. If we climb all the way up the top of this ladder, we get to this little space up here. Which is on another... oh no, that one's fixed in. Oh yeah, because that is the override gyros to keep the whole thing kind of stable overall. This set of gyros on a rotor, that one there, is the AI balance control system. So that's got my AI blocks in it that are looking at that beacon that keeps the whole thing level. And then, yeah, this wheel here is for the turning system. So there is... oh, I can't even remember. There's at least 100 or something Prototech gyros up there. What's that? Death 13A. Do you use new deco blocks with bubbles or plasma? Oh, you mean the lab blocks? Yes, I do like using them, particularly for aesthetic stuff. I haven't incorporated too many of them into this one yet, because I was still building the basic kind of interior and exterior stuff, but I've programmed most of the systems now, so there is going to be a lot of greebling to do, so I'll probably end up adding some of them. So anyway, that is the balance control area in the middle that keeps the whole thing upright and allows it to move, and then we can climb up yet more ladders and go even higher. And I've indicated all the sections where the ladders stop and start with red bits, so you know where to go. There we go, we have a bit of signage. So, above us, up that next ladder, we've got med bays and O2H2 and missile bays and stuff. Below us, we've just come from the gyro and crew quarters and the lower torso mess hall. So, through here... Oop. Oh, I did build a sensor on that door, have I? Oh, I've built some of them. It's been a while. So yeah, I've got this little farm plot room in here for growing some food. There is another one on the other side. And in this room, we have the heart of the entire contraption. A great big reactor in the middle. And again, more signage. This way we've got another farm for food production, so you can effectively live in here, kind of. And if we head over here, we've got cargo hold and factory stuff, so there's cargo hold for bits and pieces, for building stuff, and we've got doors I haven't put sensors on yet. Then we've got some production in here. Do need to add a bit more lighting. Again, a lot of the interiors in this is kind of half built. It's been a very big project. And across this way we've got a refinery. So we're pretty self-sufficient for building stuff that we need. Oop, let's go through that door. That one has a sensor. And before we go any further down there, I'm just going to quickly pop upstairs to the next floor up. Let's just fly up there. Ooh, that's a bit too high. I've not finished the signage up here yet, and I've not pressurised anything up here yet. Right, so... oh, I did do that sensor though. So, here we've got O2H2 generation to produce our oxygen and hydrogen for various things. Through here is an empty space that I've not finished yet. I think this is the floor that needs lots more work on it. That's... and here's our medical bay. So I have been using some of the new lab equipment. And we've got a bunch of beds for people that are seriously ill. Each one of these little rooms is self-contained and pressurised. Because why not? And then we've got a bunch of desks and some medical bays, and I've got a whole bunch of screens in here that I need to update. But yeah, that's pretty much the most of the interiors for the moment. If I quickly go this way, we've got another empty space that I don't know what to do with yet. And then I've got this in here, which I need to make a nice transition to. But this room here is one of the custom missile bays that prints and welds up a bunch of my little small grid missiles, and then there's a bunch of launch tubes with the new round doors. So I still need to make a nice way of accessing into there. That block shouldn't be there. Is that loose, or is that just... yeah, that shouldn't be there. Right, and that's kind of it for the interiors at the moment. Yeah, it's the same that side. Right, we'll pop back down to the previous floor, because I've put the parts in place for another floor up, but I have no idea what I'm actually going to put up there. I'm actually kind of trying to cut weight at the moment, because this thing's quite heavy. So let's pop through here. And then we head this way. We've got the bridge, crew quarters, and mess hall. So up here we've got another mess hall with more food access and refill station and all that kind of jazz, a food dispenser. And over here we've got another little barracks with bunks and stuff. And then through here we finally have the bridge access, which is in the head. Then we've got, yeah, more cargo access and more refill stations, because this thing is actually quite big, and I found I've run out of energy and oxygen and a few other things when messing around with it. There we go. Here is the bridge, what I've made of it so far. So there's a couple of these little auxiliary chairs either side, which spin round into place when you climb into them. I've set up... I've only set up basic controls for them at the moment, just for testing. So my idea was I was going to set up all the right-hand weapons on that seat, which spins back again when you get out of it. And all the left-hand weapons into that one, and then have some of the other stuff in here. So we've got our pilot seat here, which is on its way to getting sorted out. I've got a whole bunch of stuff I need to reprogram. But if we jump into the seat, ooh, there we go. I get myself in spectator mode. The light on the outside turns green. so that we know that the cockpit is occupied. And there's just me sitting in there. So, back to that. There's a whole bunch of stuff on the toolbar I need to build. Yeah, there we go. That is the outer view of the entire thing. Oh, there's a random block on the floor down there. So, he's got my usual vanilla walking control set up, so if I just hit the forward key, he will start walking on his own. He may look quite slow, but he can do about 20 meters a second. He can get slightly faster than that. Which is why I advise you sit down if you are in the feet when this thing is walking. And then I can use the left and right buttons to turn him around, thanks to the gigantic gyro wheel in the middle of him. The only annoying thing is he's so big I can't actually fit him all in the frame at once. I am zoomed out as far as I can go, and it's still a struggle to get him all the way into the frame. He's quite big. Oh yeah, I also built a whole bunch of cogs on the top, because the reference pictures of me going off have got cogs up there. I decided to tie them into the walk cycle, so when you walk forward, those cogs spin in one direction, and when he walks in reverse, because he has a reverse walk function as well, the cogs will spin in the opposite direction. And they're about as round as I can get them, and get them to interlock without just completely clanging out. And then he's got a whole bunch of weapons dotted around. So let's go back into Spectator for a second. So weapons wise, we've got a whole bunch of artillery cannons. We've got some in the knees. We've got a few more over here in the shoulders. Got a bunch of rocket launchers. What's that? Death 13, eh? Need visor protection, otherwise one punch and your control is gone. Yeah, sort of. I mean, those windows are pretty thin, but all of the... And those control seats are only going to be auxiliary anyway. All of the actual programming is stashed up here in this computer. And that is where everything pretty much lives. And that I'm planning to wrap in some armour when I'm finished with it. I mean, I probably could do with a bit more armour. Could potentially change some of this stuff to heavy armour. But yeah, what else have we got here? We've also... see, we've got the rocket launchers there. We've got... Oh yeah, here's the outside of the missile tubes I was showing off earlier. They all sit there. There's one of them in either shoulder. Then I've got a bunch of Gatling guns on top for dealing with any pests that might appear above us, like little drones and things. And then round the back I've got a bunch of dual assault cannon turrets. So there's one, there's two, and there's a third one there. Oh yeah, and then we've got the bigger custom missile system up here, which I still need to build a path up to through the mech. So these bloody great things launch, and then the piston will pull back, it will weld up another one, and then it will extend again, and it'll be ready to launch again. And it took quite a bit of messing around to get that to work, and I also needed to create a little mod to extend the range of the welders slightly, because I couldn't get the welders close enough to weld up the inside of these missiles, which are completely full of warheads. They've got quite a few of them. So yeah, I had to make a small welder mod to extend their range a little bit. That's why I said it's like 99% vanilla, because there is a few tiny little mods in here to help make it work better. Right, so where am I? I'm there. Let's turn him around a bit more. There we go. Right, so let's quickly the F10 button. There it is. So let's just do a little demo of some of these weapon systems. Warmaster Titan. Let's use you as a target, because he is actually. This guy was my biggest mech, one of the biggest mechs I'd ever built until I started this project, and this dude barely even comes up to his knee now. So, that is a little idea of how big this Warmaster Titan thing has gotten. So, let's paste him in there. Yeah, because this guy is another large grid build, but he is significantly smaller than the other one. Right, I don't need to do much other than just access the door. Let's copy all of that and make him a bad guy. There we go, so we've got a hostile target to shoot at, lovely. And I can fly back over to this dude. And I have built a an extra door in the top. So there's some slightly easier access into him. Yeah, that's my biggest problem with him. He's so big I can't get him in the bloody frame properly. Right, so what should I demonstrate first? Oh yeah, I've got a whole bunch of controls. So I've built a controller for the head, so if you want to, you can directly control the head of the mech with the mouse using a turret controller. And if you get bored of it and decide to turn it off, it will just reset itself. And also we got left arm, right. Left arm, you're the plasma caster one, so turn that on. How far away is he? He is just outside of our firing range. So let's get a little bit closer, and the arm should kick in and target it automatically. I had to do a little bit of messing around to get this gun to work the way I wanted it to. What are we, 900 meters? That will be there in a second. Are you going to pick up that target arm, or are you just going to mess about? Why is the AI on that arm not working properly? Try the other one. Oh, there we go. The other one's kicked in. There we go. That at least worked. That one's AI is behaving properly. Why is left arm not behaving? Well, at least the right arm behaves. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I need to fix and fiddle with. So yeah, the right arm can aim. It's got 8 artillery cannons in it to make a giant artillery Gatling gun type thing. Shut up window security, I'm not interested. And it's got a bunch of exhaust pipes, exhaust caps actually on it to act as a ventilation system. We can control this ourselves if we want to. However, it is very large and very slow. And I can use the mouse to fire it myself. So I had to do a weird bit of jiggery pokery to get these things to work properly. Because of its size and because of the way the AI custom turret blocks work. Because they need a weapon with line of sight. Hang on a second. Just drop something. They need a weapon or a tool with line of sight to the target, but they also don't like it if they're on a separate grid from the weapons they're controlling sometimes. So if I put something to aim with it in here, it would get very confused and behave quite erratically. So I had to end up doing some weird stuff and putting a single rocket launcher. This is not connected up to the conveyor system in any way. It is literally just sitting there. And that is what the arm targets with. And then, because of the way the custom turret controllers and weapons work, when that targets something, it sends a firing signal. Regardless of whether it's got ammo in it, it will still try and activate that firing signal. And then I have that tied to a welder that is inside, and that welder, because of the way tools work, when you click the mouse it turns the block on and off, whereas with the weapons it sends the fire signal. So both that rocket launcher and that welder are attached to the same turret, custom turret controller. So basically, when that rocket launcher sends a fire signal, it also, by default, makes that welder turn on, and when that welder turns on, I have got that attached to an event controller, which then does all of this business over here. And that way, I can use the custom stupid spinning barrel system as well as the AI. Otherwise, the AI wouldn't be able to fire the gun, it would only be able to aim with it. The only issue is, if it maintains aim, it just leaves the fire signal permanently on. Which is why the gun is currently aiming and not firing. If I turned it off and turned it on again, it would retarget, re-aim, and then it fires again. So I think I need to put a timer in there that turns the fire signal off somehow. Cheers, Engineered Coffee. Yeah, it took me a lot of experimenting to work that one out, because you can chain like two custom turret controllers together to make an arm, and then just bung a weapon on the end of that and set both controllers up to use the same weapons and the same cameras and stuff, and it will work fine. But when you start adding additional subgrids to the end of that arm and then attaching weapons to that, the game gets a little bit confused. So I had to do a bit of screwing around to get that to work. Right, I'm going to turn that arm off now. So yeah, I had to also make a large grid mod, large grid rotor and hinge mod that boosts the maximum torque outputs for rotors and hinges all the way up to 1 trillion. Because this thing, even with the new experimental settings of 1 billion torque, wasn't enough for this thing to move. So I had to add a couple of extra zeros. So yeah, this thing needs a ridiculous mod to make it actually walk around. What was the next thing I was going to do? Oh yeah, I was going to look at this left arm. Why wasn't that working properly? You should be aiming at the thing. Why are you not aiming at the thing? Arm unit L. You are... Yep, using that. That's fine, because that's the same as the right arm, which is chain gun control, chain gun trigger. Why aren't you aiming at the robot that's right in front of you? Camera, that. Thank you. Oh, I wish this bad weather would bugger off. But back again. Okay. I'm not sure why. Am I just not close enough? Am I slightly too far away? No, definitely on. How about I aim at you? I'll aim that manually. No. Why are you misbehaving? Turn you off, turn you on. Interesting, okay. That's what happens when you start building things that are this gigantic. What if I put some gyros in the arm weapons for it to be stable? Interesting idea. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out why you are not targeting anything. Have I turned you off targeting enemies for some stupid reason? Neutrals, enemies are on. Definitely targeting enemies. That's right, that's right. Then again, some of the AI and the scripts that run in the background can just break sometimes when you're doing too much, so it might be a case of that. Turn you off. Turn you on. Nope. Nope. Not gonna aim for me. Ooh, actually, hang on. Let's have a... let's have a look at some of these controls. Where are they? That doesn't need to be switched on, because that turns on when the fire signal comes on. That's definitely on. Oh, whatever. I'll just fire it manually. Let's get into spectator. There we go. Right, so this has got a similar thing, although it doesn't have the same moving parts. But it has got a similar kind of firing system. Oop, that was the wrong button. Something's gone screwy there. Or has it? Yeah, because... Oh, no, it's just I've programmed it slightly differently. So, yeah, this has got a bunch of event controllers in it that are attached to the charge level of the railguns. And as those railguns progressively charge up more and more, these little things, whatever they are, will light up and move into place, or should do. Second one doesn't seem to have done it yet. Oh, there goes the second one. There we go. Because, yeah, the large railguns take quite a while to recharge. And eventually that other one will drop into position, and then that will indicate that the entire arm is ready for firing again. What's that? Death 13A. Add AI for each arm, so you can just give them permission to fire, otherwise they would target automatically enemies. They've got a... there's a custom turret controller controlling each section of each arm, which I have got down here on the toolbar. And I've got some basic controls for them there, so I can turn off and on various things. I'm curious why this arm is not aiming. As it should be. That's all right. That's all set up correctly. Oh, idiot. That's why. Yep, there you go. I forgot to extend the range of that. There we go. That is why. Silly little mistakes. Forgot to extend the range on the turret controller. Okay, let's try out that gyro idea then. Let's jump into spectator. Let's get ourselves out here. I can't remember whether I experimented with this idea before and whether or not it actually had a viable effect, or whether it just ended up fighting with the turret controller. Have I got gyros on here? No, I've got Prototech there, that'll be. Prototech gyro. Right. I'm gonna slap one of you on there for the moment. You. Although it's wobbling quite a bit, might be difficult to get anywhere near the damn thing. Oh! Fine. I'll just do it that way. Yeah. Wobbly. Right, override. Controls on. Don't seem to be making a whole lot of difference. How many of those will I have to add to actually affect it? If I add another bunch of them. Well, it does seem to be having a bit of an effect. Okay. Let's add a few more, see what happens. Gyro control, gyro control. Seem to be helping a little bit. Well then, again, the problem with adding gyro control to that and then overriding it is it's already got shear inertia tensor on it, so all of that momentum that it's trying to restrain is also getting sent through this joint here. which is having this knock-on effect of making the whole thing jiggle from the base. Yeah, I think that's the reason that I haven't done this before in the past, is because the way shear inertia tensor balances stuff out. If the rotors were a little less wobbly, it wouldn't be so much of an issue. It's just working at this scale. The physics start getting a bit weird. And then again, your feet are still jiggling quite a bit down here, aren't they? Okay, well, let's try it again then. Let's put a bunch of them on there. We'll do 8. Whatever. Gyro override. Gyro override. A whole bunch of it on there. And see. It does fight it a little bit, but it's not really enough. The more gyroscopes I add, the more physics forces I end up adding, and that can get a little bit sketchy eventually. Kind of just been accepting the wobbliness of this thing, purely because of its size. Might actually try and make a small grid version of it eventually. Right, let's turn that arm on and see what happens when it's got all those gyros attached. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Bum-ba-bum. Right hand. Arm. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Is it's really fighting with the movement of it. It stabilizes it, but it makes it really difficult to move. Yeah, I thought as much. Where are those? It'll be all of these ones, won't it? Yeah, be all of those ones I've not named. You do wobble around quite a lot though, which is a bit annoying. What's that? Give it air rotors. How about locking rotors when you don't move the arm? I'm not sure. There's a couple of ideas that you tried. Yeah, what could we do? Oh, actually, that's an idea. I could... Yeah, you're going to rinse through all your ammo if you carry on doing that. Gyro... Proto... So which ones are on this side? Is it the other ones? Yeah, that one, 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 and that one. Yeah, all of those yellow ones there. Let's just call them Gyro Arm. Right, for now, I'll place those names. Warmaster. Is that the tag that I used? Oh no, there's a T in there as well. Warmaster gyro arm right. Cool, so if I make a group of them, have that switched on. I don't seem to be making a great deal of difference again. About that side, those ones. Yeah, because there's totally a way I can turn the gyros on and off when it aims, but it doesn't seem to be... Let's add some more. Why not? I'm going to move them all again in a bit anyway. But I like to try and work out exactly how many of something I need before I start trying to incorporate it properly into the build. So we have... I'll put another row of them there. Ooh. Something's making unhappy noises. That's you. You know what, I'm just going to go back to the cockpit. Ooh, that wobble is quite a lot. Right, let's have a look at these other jobs. Let's see. Ooh. Game freezing. Are you saving or what? There we go. Bum 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 bum. So I'm guessing it'll be, yeah, these other purple ones. Let's grab them, turn that on. They don't seem to be doing a massive amount to actually stabilize it. Gyro arm. Add them into the group. I mean, it's doing a bit, but not a massive amount. Hinge arm. Let's have a look at these. Bum 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 bum. Right elbow control. You are set quite high. Go up higher. Doesn't really mitigate any of the wobble. 1, 2, 3. Oop. No, more zeros than that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean, it does make a difference. It definitely does make a difference in terms of wobble. So, what we could do effectively is we go to our arm unit that's controlling the bottom half of the arm, which is this right elbow one. When that detects a target, we could have it turn that group of gyros on and off. Or actually, we'll turn the override on and off. I can use the actual power on and off in the arm turning on and off thing. So, we can turn that on when it targets, and turn that off when it doesn't. And then arm on, off for the right arm is a couple of timers. Is... oh yeah. Do it that way. Bum, 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 bum. Nope. Where is it? R01. There it is. Right, on and off. Right, so when the right arm turns on, we could... what have we got here? Well, I've divided it all up. No, I'll put it there. We could effectively turn that group of gyros on when the arm turns on. Ah, sugar. What was that? Oh, I know what that is. That's a camera. Cam R. That is that. Yeah, because it's usually light camera action. Yeah, I'll be that. Okay, so arm gyros. Gyro. We can turn that group off there. Let me just check that camera's actually active. On here, camera, arm on. Yep, cool. Okay, so if I turn that off, it'll reset back to normal. Turn it on, it'll kick in. You know what, it's hard to tell what's going on there. Gyros, arm right, they are turned on. Override controls are on. Oh, in fact, I know. There's a way I can figure that out. Gyro, arm, bum, bum, bum. Take that group, stick it in there for a second. Ah, yes. Fail safe, because if it's aiming and then I turn it off, it's not going to turn off the gyro override. That's the one. So, arm R01, go back to that. When that turns off as a fail safe, we will also have the arm gyro override turn. There we go. Right. Turn it on. It kicks in. The arm aims. And when it locks on, it then turns the gyro overrides on. Even though it doesn't do a massive amount, it is still slightly better than having it off. Okay, alright. Right, well, Death 13A, that was a pretty good idea. Again, we're just having weight issues with the sheer vastness of this thing, so if it was smaller, it'd probably be more help, but it's definitely helping a little bit, so cheers for that idea. If I turn it off again, that all turns off, arm resets. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that, so let's move those gyros inside the arm, and because I've already set up a group, I should just be able to swap that over pretty quickly. So, where shall we put them? We need... arm's kicking in. Cool. What did I build? I built 2 rows of 8. Makes 16. Maybe I should build more, but then again, these things are really heavy. They weigh 10,000 kilos each. quite a lot. You know what would help? If I turn those guns off so it stopped wobbling. Yeah! All that wobble throwing me all over the place. Yeah, right, let's get back in here. It's that arm doing all the wobbling. Right, I'm going to settle down a bit now. No, an abandoned farmstead. That's a new one. Right, let's get in here. So that's... oh, that's 160,000 kilograms that I'm adding to this arm. Then again, I mean, we need to get it to stop wobbling, so it's a sacrifice we'll have to make. What way should we mount them? Let's mount them that way because it looks cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do a bunch of them that way. We'll do a bunch of them that way. And then I can't see a thing. There we go. Press the right button, please. Gyros. Right, so I'm going to take that name. Stick them on all of them instead. In fact, Warmaster 01. That can be that. We will add all of them into that group. Alright, and then I can delete the ones on the outside. Cool. Right. Back to me. Gyro. Let's turn them off. They're at full power. That's all that. That's all that. That's all that. Right. Okay. That'll do for that side. Let's do a similar thing for here. Right, we already know that... well, I'm just going to use 16 again. Try and balance this thing out a little bit. So, straight off the bat, we'll just get rid of them. Don't need them in there. Let's go inside here. What have we got? Loads of room. Put them anywhere I like. Stick them in the middle-ish. Yeah, we'll stick them here. Gone past it again. Where's it gone? There it is. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and 4. Right. That is all of them. Let's just go back to the cockpit. Right, where were those new gyros? There they are. Yes, that'll be all of them. 16 of them. Cool. Turn them off. Turn that off, actually. Gyro, arm, left. A Warmaster tag on it. Replace the name. Copy that. Make a group. Where's the on and off timers for you? There we are. Right, so when that turns on, we will just put it there. Gyro left. Right. Just put it there. That can turn on there. Gyro left. Oh, gyro. I keep missing that R. That can turn off, and override controls can turn off, and then it will go to the left elbow arm unit. Where are we? Where is it? Set of actions, there it is. Let me take that arm. Left gyros, we will turn on the override controls and turn off the override controls. Okay. I'll turn that on. Where's that clanging coming from? That is on and that is on. Okay. How does that affect it when I try and move? Oh. Yeah, so when I let's put that group on there for now. Yeah, so that actually does turn off when I move away. Turning is still as slow and sluggish as ever, really. It is separated by grids, so ooh, that does seem to be having quite an effect on his oh yeah. Again, the issue of having multiple different grids with gyro control on them. If I turn that off, why are you on that awful angle? Why is your balance control not dealing with that? Balance control, Warmaster Titan. Moving to waypoint 1. Why are you not self-correcting? come back, sort your life out. There we go. Yeah, you're not self-correcting. Why are you not self-correcting? You're all on, you're all doing what you should be doing. You're on, you're on. Okay. Do you want to correct yourself? I think there might be too many physics forces going on now. Where am I? There I am. Yeah, you're refusing. Hey Arkaville, yes, if only we could mod my internet connection to be better. It'd make life a lot easier. Yeah, I think this gyro idea might be causing more problems than it's solving. Yeah, you are very, 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 very slowly self-correcting. Let's do a little test. Let's save that there. I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to remove these gyroscopes again. Because I think adding all of that extra weight is causing additional problems in other places. Let's get them out. Let's go back over here. Rid of that. Get rid of that. And that. Twitch kept crashing. Yeah. Twitch doesn't like me. I always stream to it the same as when I do YouTube these days, but Twitch just drops out all the time. Again, I think it might be related to my general internet issues, because when I try and stream to Steam, it behaves the same way as it does with Twitch. It just cuts out every 5 minutes. So I'm not sure what that problem's about. Yeah, you're actually self-correcting. You're actually balancing properly now. Damn. Right, I think... yeah, it'll be mass-related issues, because the arm guns are so damn big and heavy. Having gyros on them and then having shear inertia tensor on the arms is just making the mass of the arms mess with the mass of the whole overall thing. So I don't think that's going to work. Nuts. Because yeah, now he's fine. He's leaning as I turn around, but he's actually self-correcting. He's actually leaning back forwards again slowly. Yeah, I think I might just have to deal with the arm wobble. But this thing is now 20 million kilos, so it's a little bit stupidly heavy. Anyway, at least I got both the arms working and aiming. That's the important bit. Oh, come on, internet connection. Pick one or the other. Either work or don't work. Back up to a decent speed again? Okay. Right, well, other than that, let's move him out a little bit further, and then I'm going to test out the missile systems and see if they still work the way they're supposed to. Okay, we are a kilometre away from him now. That should do. Just take a little bit of a while to turn him around because he's so bloody big. Right, there we go. I've actually got him turned around again. It looks like, yeah, we're actually balanced. Yeah. I think all those gyros in the arms were definitely screwing with that. Oh well. Okay, so, smag it. Get rid of that. Don't need it. Get rid of that. Don't need it. What other things have we got here? We've got our rocket launchers, or the... I don't think... Oh, we do have ammo. Oh, but they can't move left and right because there's not enough space for that, so they can only go up and down. So they're not going to hit him unless they are directly pointing at him. What have we got here then? Missile pods on the two sides. Cool, right, so... if I hit that button, that turns that missile pod on and moves everything forwards a little bit so they're all ready to fire. And then he's over here. What's the best way to make this look cool? First of all, let's save in case I accidentally break something I don't want to. Turn damage back on for a bit. So yeah, flicking that light on and off, that first one there, will retract and deploy these missiles as needed. And we can deploy them again, open the doors again. We've also got a camera so we can see directly what we're aiming at, if we need to. There we go. Bobbling for. And then we can hit the timer, which will launch all the missiles one by one in sequence. As they get away from the mech, they all kick in with that targeting AI, which is lagging my game out a bit because there's a whole bunch of AI blocks doing stuff right now. And they're actually pretty good at doing some damage. And when they fire, they automatically retract everything, and it welds a whole new bunch of them. So if I open that again, you can have a look at it from the inside. So deploy the missiles. Fire the missiles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Once everything is fired, everything retracts back into place. and then we weld up a whole extra bunch of missiles. I'm sure I was meant to put in a system to turn all these welders off again. Or I was trying to figure out a system to turn all those welders off again. You got them smashed to pieces, haven't you? Yeah, and then we've got a similar thing. Well, we've got the exact same thing on the other side. So we could, effectively, if we wanted to be really ridiculous, fire, what was it, 3, 2 and 7. There you go, we fire 16 of those missiles at once. Which really lags the game out a little bit. Or at least it lags my game out a little bit. I don't know why they're all aiming for his knees. They're determined to take his legs out. There we go. Yeah, and then that welds all of them back up. Cool, and then on the last toolbar at the moment, well, it's the last toolbar I've got, I think it's page 9, isn't it? And those are all going to be system control stuff that I need to set up. So on page 9 we have got these great big monstrous things. I'm debating whether to set up a sequence of these or just have them as single use. So for the moment I've just set them up as single use. So we can turn the whole system on by turning that light on. Then this lights up so you can tell that it's on. We've got a camera up there for looking if we need it. And then all we need to do to fire these is just unmerge the merge blocks. So there is a bunch of merge blocks on the toolbar. Off it goes. When it gets a certain distance away, its AI will kick in. There we go. Well, actually it's timed, I think, rather than distance. And then that comes in, and boom. And again, it does the same thing. It will retract, it will weld up another one, and then it will redeploy it. So let's fire 3 and 4. Off they go. There goes their AI, and then back here we've got some new ones getting welded up. That'll be the sound of them. There we go, new missiles are welded, and off we go. Oh yeah, so I did put in a system to turn these ones off. Yeah, I just need to sort out the shoulder-mounted ones. Yeah, so that is my ridiculous missile system. Let's fire all of them at once. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Determined to hit that arm, aren't they? Ooh, that one's still going. It's decided to not explode. Okay. Fair enough. Right, so That's showing off most of the basic weapon systems, or actually the advanced weapon systems, not showing off any of the basic ones. Rocket launchers. Oh yeah, because I was going to have all of the big main weapons attached to him, and have all the little turrets somewhere else, wasn't I? So what? Oh, Oh, trying to remember my own programming and what I did. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get rid of this missile, annoying me now. You gonna fly it properly and detonate? Go on, explode for us. Nope. Whatever, get out of it. Let's... Ooh, lovely. You know what? I might actually reload that to before I put a huge hole in the floor and had a load of broken grids floating about. So let's just quickly go back to I'll go back to that one. That was before I started blowing things up and causing damage. Because I don't really need the game lagging out while I'm trying to do stuff. Right, so what do I need to do? I need to get those welders and the shoulders to turn off. Bum 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 bum. How can I do that? I might just have to put it on a timer. Yeah, I'll probably just put it on a timer because I can't really think what other way I can tie that into the programming. So Missile 01, was it? That's all the batteries for all of the actual missiles. I might need to change the blueprints for them and get all of that hidden. Because that's all the stuff for the missiles themselves. Ah, there we go. That's the big one in the middle. I call it L0. Yes, I think I did. We've got a reload delay. Reload delay, what are you doing? Missile welder. Turning all of that off. Reload delay. Okay. Already got some stuff in there, turning things on and off, so... Well, all of that stuff is still blatantly on. That projector is definitely still on. Okay, so when does that actually kick in? Or have I just built that and not finished it yet? I'll turn that on. Deploys them. I then fire those missiles, everything there turns off. That all turns back up. Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of missiles out there screwing around. Oh, I'll get rid of them in a minute. Trying to remember my own programming. So that fires that turns them off. Ah, right, so that's turning that off there. Left and right. You're supposed to turn everything off. Maybe I just haven't tied you into it yet. So that reloads when everything... Right, yeah, so that's the event controller that initiates the welding system when all of the pistons retract. Turns that off, that closes them, that turns them on, that turns that on, turns the welders on. I can just copy them off the one, I can just copy them off the ones I've already built. Remove. Where have I gone? Where have I gone? There we go. So activate missiles. I'm guessing I got round to timing it, so fire the missiles. When everything comes back and switches back on, presumably it's 6 seconds. So that comes back. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, 6 1000. Okay, maybe I was a little bit keen on that. Okay, right. Missile L01. I know what I'm doing now. Bum 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 bum. Reload delay is there. Reload timer is there. Right, okay, so when that chain gun missile L01 reload delay. Cool. Right, so when that starts welding, we'll put that delay on. We'll leave it on 6 seconds for now and see how far it gets through the welding the missiles up. Yeah, okay. Right. Activate that again. Fire. That'll retract. And that activates. Oh, right, 6 seconds is good enough. Okay, cool. I don't know why I didn't actually incorporate that into the controls properly. But that seems to have done the trick. That also means there's a whole bunch of projectors that are now switched off and not rinsing the game speed. Cool, okay. That seems to have done the trick there. Let's get rid of those missiles, as well as this crap up here. Don't need all of this. Rinsing through my sim speed. Remove. Thank you. Remove. Cool, okay, that seems to solve that problem on that side. Presumably we just need to do the same thing over here? Ah, looks like I've already done it over here. Oh, maybe I got halfway through doing it on the right hand side last time I was playing. Let's have a quick look. Missile R01. Load. Missile 1, reload R01, that's the one. Bum, 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 bum. Oh yeah, I did. Right, that'll be why. I got halfway through doing it last time. Cool, okay, so that's both of them working. Does that mean these are all turned off? Yes, it does. Sweet, okay. That's that solved quicker than I thought it would be. Right, that's been 2 hours. I am gonna go and quickly have a little bit of a bio break. Hopefully my internet won't crash while I'm away. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Right, hello again. I am back. Let's just turn that off. Right. Okay, so we've sorted out the missiles, we've sorted... well, we've not really sorted out the arms. We tried sorting out the arms, that didn't really work as properly intended. Oh yeah, last time I was going through all of these screens as well, wasn't I? Because I wanted to set up the dashboard in here. So, what did I get round to doing? I've done the on and off signs for the arms, the head. Okay, right, so I just need to add a bunch of screens to some controls. Well, I'm head, that's not how you spell head. Oh, I've got all those warheads in the way. Yeah, I definitely need to update the blueprints for those missiles and hide everything that I don't need. Bomb, head on, head off. Cool, right. So that was all of those things. That was all of those things. I should have named it properly. Head LCD? No? Did I call it a display? Did I call it a sign? Turn you off. There. So now when I cycle through the head, on and off. There we go, that's better. Right. So I now know when I've activated the head controls. I turn it off, it deactivates the whole thing. Cool. Wicked. Right, what else have we got on here? Missiles, arms. Arms reloading. Oh yeah, I know what I was doing with them. Right, arm L01 on and off. Oh yeah, that's a bunch of gyros. We're getting rid of that, don't need it anymore. So, LCD. That one and turn on, and turn the arm on. So that's two groups there. Oh yeah, that can all go. Don't need that either. Oh, hello, Jeremy Loki. What's that? Sorry you haven't been on much. Been back in hospital, having 2 stents put in your heart. I hope you're doing okay, mate. To be honest, I haven't been online much recently over the last few weeks. I've been a bit ill myself, but nothing like what you've been going through, so I hope you're doing better, mate. And welcome to the party. Right, what was I doing? I'm on the off one, aren't I? LCD, off. Right, that can go on and off there, so if I switch, you know, to get rid of that group out of there, don't need it, get that out of there, don't need it. So I turn the arm on, does that, I turn the arm off, it turns off, fantastic, so we need to sort out that reloading sign. Arm L reloading. Nope. Oh, hang on, is it? I name it to the plasma cannon thing. Reload. Or recharge. Yeah, so that fires. The last one fires that. And then they all start recharging. Oh, right, yeah, cool, okay. So, in theory, I'd take that one because it's got 3 stages of recharge, one at 33, one at 66, and one at 100%. So if I take the 100% one, and when it drops below that, which would be the second slot, it will be reloading. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. It'll be that sign will turn. In fact, have I got another space? Yes, I have. So when that gets to 100%, it will turn off, and when it drops below 100%, it will turn on. So it should be like that. So if I then fire the gun. Ooh, my power consumption's gone through the roof. There's one of my reactors run out. 19 minutes of power. Oh god, one of my reactors has run out of uranium, I think. If I've got that little power left. Oh yes. That whole time I've been messing about, I've rinsed all of my uranium. Let's stick some more in storage. Uranium ingots. 1, 2, 3. Let's put 1,000 of you in there. Off you go. There we go. Right. This whole thing was going to turn off in 20 minutes if I wasn't careful. Oh, hey Aga. How you doing, man? Right, is that arm reloaded yet? Not quite. Where are we up to? There we are. Right. Oh yeah, 2 of them have kicked in. And it's nearly reloaded, and that sign should then turn off. There we go. Cool. Right. Cool. Awesome. And we will also need a failsafe. L01 on and off. When it turns off, we will also get it to turn off the reload sign. It's not that one, it's that one. Because when the system's turned off, the guns get turned off and can't recharge anyway, so I may as well turn that off. Cool, right, so I can turn that off. Fantastic. Right, let's do this next arm over. Arm R01 on and off. There it is. Arm LCD right. Put it there. So that can turn on. Actually, what did I do with the other arm? Where's my fire private control? Yeah, whatever. Right, so that can turn on there. That's fine. Arrange things slightly. That can go. That doesn't need to be on. Oh, that's what I'm missing on that side, isn't it? More fail safes. Turn that on. Yeah, I need to turn. Yeah, I need to set up those controls as well, because I don't want to accidentally be able to fire the arm when it's not deployed. That would cause issues. What have we got here? Yeah. Okay. So it was chain gun control. Where is it? That's one of them. And then that's the other one. What is it? Plasma. Fire control. Oh, right. Yeah. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Chain gun. Fire control. Oh, that's already gets turned on and off. And what was the group that I was looking at? Oh, just plasma fire control. Yeah, okay. Confusing myself. Plans. Hang on. That's got something else in it. Plasma fire. Let's put that in it as well. Okay. So I like to try and set up my control systems to be as uniform as possible. So we'll do that, we'll do that. Then we've got a plasma fire control, and oh yeah, watch me take that out. And just have it as chain gun fire control. There we go, that makes more sense. That can get deleted. Yeah, because I've got a group for it there, haven't I? Yeah, okay, let's reprogram that arm slightly then. Arm R01. On and off. Let's take that out of there. Take that out of there. Chain. Fire control. On. I like to have my little fail safes and double. We're back again. Right, I think we're back again. Feckin' internet connection. We back. I think I'm back. Right. Okay. I think I'm back again. Yeah, I should be back again, Aga. Hopefully. The signal is coming through again. Yep, back, cool, sweet. Bloody internet. Maybe I need to start a GoFundMe just to get a better internet connection. Right, I think I know what I'm actually doing with this arm now. That's all of that, yes. Yes. Yeah, okay, I think that's that sorted. Right. Plas fire control can go off. Have that as a failsafe, just to make sure. Arm LCD right arm can turn off. Reload sign can turn off. Right, so for the right hand side, we need that reload sign to turn on and off when it's reloading. So, chain reload. That starts the reload process when it gets all the way around to there. So right, and then we've got a reload timer. So if I turn that sign on there when it gets all the way around, and then that timer is what sticks everything back to normal again, so we can reload. That can turn off there. So if I flick that on and off, that turns all that stuff on. If I turn it on, it turns the arm on. Oh, we moved a kilometre away, so it's not going to target the thing. I can control that. I can hit the fire button. And it's now turned on the reloading sign. Cool. And then once that's reloaded, that should turn off again. Cool. Awesome. Right, that's that signage working. Right, now we've got these missile signs up here. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff I need to build after that as well. Or program rather than build. So, missiles. Before we go any further, did I name these things? LCD, missile C02, R01, that's all good. Yeah, looks like I named everything. Fine, cool. Right, so Miss L01. Where is your off controller? There it is. What does that trigger? That triggers those timers. Miss L01. Where are those on and off timers hiding? There they are. Cool. Right. So when we turn that on, yeah, we'll just put it there. Fantastic. Missile L01 LCD and turn on. Missile L01 LCD can turn off. Now this system is slightly different to the weapons, so the reload system still carries on when the system, when the whole thing turns on and off. So I don't need to do that. What I need to do is the reload. That's the second. Yeah, that one. Yeah, so when we get to there, we need to turn the missile L01 reload sign on. And then when that delay has kicked in, we can turn that missile L01 reload sign back off again. Oh yeah, I need to make a sign for the rocket launchers. I need to figure out what weapons I'm going to put into that gap. Turn that on, turn that off. That on again. Oh, in fact, actually, let's turn all these off to make sure they actually work. So that turns off, that turns on, that's me looking through the thing, that's me firing the missiles. That's all the missiles off on their jollies. That has turned off because it has turned off the weapon system, and now the reload sign is turned on. Groovy. And it is now reloaded and it is ready to go again. Cool. Oh, Jeremy, I hate it when people keep trying to call you when you're using your phone for stuff. It's a right pain, isn't it? Right, so we can turn that missile system off. Cool. Let's get rid of all these little missiles again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all of them. Off you pop. Then we've got missile R01. Bomb. Where are those timers? Keep going past them. There they are. Miss LCD R0. I'll have you turn on in that one. Miss R01 LCD. Have you turn off there. Reload delay R01. Missile 01. Yes, cool. Miss reload. R01. That can turn off there. Where is it? On, off, fire, reload. There we go. Missile number 1. R01. Yep, that's the one. That can go there. And that... not that one. That one can turn on there. So if I cycle that, turn that on, turn that off, turn that on again, cool, that works. Camera, fire the missiles, off they go. And the reloading sign's kicked in. Cool. Then when they've reloaded, it turns off again. Lovely. Right, that works. Let's get rid of those missiles again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5? Oh, maybe I run out of bits to weld up new missiles. Really? Yeah, remove them anyway. What's this nonsense? That's just big loose blocks on the floor, they can go. That can go. Cool. Okay. Right then, so back to first person. Oh yeah, we've got this central missile system. Yeah, because I've got 6 different missiles up there. One sign. tie that sign into all of them, I think. Right, missile C02. That's the one. Missile C02 LCD, you can turn on there. LCD C02, you can turn off there. So if I turn that on, turn that off, there we go. Alright, that works. Cool. What are these? L01. Oh yeah, so I've got 2, 3, 1, haven't I? So that's done piston position. That's done that piston position. What does that one do? That turns. Right, so that's the one that turns. Yeah. That turns on the welding system. And the other one is the one that turns it off when it extends again, isn't it? Oh, it comes all the way back to there. And then it extends that piston that the missile's mounted on. Yeah, I might actually set that to. Let's get that sign to turn on as soon as it's fired, because it's going to automatically retract all the way back in anyway. Yeah. Yeah, because if I attach it to the reload controllers, that's based on piston position, and that won't kick in until it gets all the way back there. Yeah, so. That's these ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it's those ones. When it's on there. Come on, internet. Thank you. We're really having one of those days. Apparently we are. We're back again. We're gonna play nice? Yes. Looks like we are gonna play nice. Maybe. Nope. Continue to give me crap. Yeah, okay. It seems to have balanced out again. Right, so I don't know why this thing is bigger than any base I've ever really built. I doubt I'll add this to any of my survival series. I'd have to build it from scratch in survival, and that would be a whole series on its own, rebuilding this thing. But I will be, once it's finished, I will be publishing it for people to play with. Oh, come on, internet connection, just balance out, please. Stop giving me grief. gonna behave yourself. Okay. Right, so what were we doing? We were doing that. We were turning that on there. That's what we did in the last one, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Right, so that one, that one. That can turn on there. Do. Yeah, because I'm not really going to be able to get... Oh, internet, just please work with me. You back again? My internet is starting to get very moody, so I don't know how much longer I can do this stream for. It's having one of those days. Yeah, it's absolutely having one of those days. Can you just try and behave? Alright, well, come on. Right, are we back again? Please, just work. Thank you. Right, where were we? I hate living by the sea. Nothing ever works properly. Everything is corroded with iron oxide. Right, that can go there. And that can go there for the moment. Because short of that, I've got to try and squeeze 6 different signs in here, and I don't think we've really got the space for that. Oh, hello, Lord Psychon, over on Twitch. What mods am I using? I am mostly using my own mech building mod pack that you can find on my workshop pages. To be honest, all the mods I'm using are pretty much homemade. I have got a mod for making all the rotors and hinges in this thing a hell of a lot stronger, so they can support the weight of it. I've got a little mod I made to slightly increase the range of the welders, and there goes my internet again. Just pick a speed and stick with it, please. Thank you. And what other mods are in here on this particular build? That might be it, actually. The mods I'm using on this one. Right, let me use that reload sign. Miss L01. No, not L01. C02. Already set that up, that's fine. It's the reload buttons I need to sort out. Oh, come on, internet, just let me get to 3 hours, for God's sake. Miss C02 reload. That's not that one. just missile 02. So I haven't named everything properly yet. Is it a reload? There it is. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, hello, Avidu Hurst. Cheers, man. Thank you very much. Right, so that's that. That's that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right, that's them. That's the secondary one. That's the one that retracts everything and puts it back to normal. So when that one kicks in, we want that reload sign to turn off. So that one, that one. Please just stay connected, for God's sake. Driving me mad. Right, and that can get turned off there. And then the last two. That can get turned off there. Bum, bum, bum. And then that can get turned off there. That's about the best way I can think to do it at the moment. Right, so I turn that off. That does that. If I turn it on, that does that. If I fire one of the missiles, off it goes. That reloading sign turns on. There goes the missile. And eventually that reloading sign should turn off. Turned off yet? Oh, there it goes. Oh, and it's now turned off. Right, so I missed it while I was messing around with that. Okay, cool, so that works. Let's fire missile number 2. There we go, so it should now be reloading, which is indeed reloading and rebuilding. There we go. Right, that works. And eventually that will turn off again. Oh, there we go. It has turned off because it is extending back out again. Cool. Groovy. Bum, 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 bum. That missile and that missile. Let's get rid of you again. Cool, right, that's those screens set up nicely. Where am I from, Avidu? I'm from the north of England. And that is about as far as I wish to dox myself. Well, I live in the north of England. I've lived here most of my, pretty much all my life. Right, so, okay, that's some of that signage done in there. I do still need to think about what else I can do with the interior of here. Probably do it a little bit light as well. And I also need to figure out what I'm going to do with all that toolbar. So I can turn the head control on, that sign comes on. I can turn the arm control on, that sign comes on. More arm control, that sign. Oh yeah, rockets. Oh, those rocket turrets there. Artillery. These artillery shoulders. I will have the shoulder artillery on on the main control bar, I think. There's 9 toolbars, isn't actually enough for everything that I'd like to do. So I'm gonna have to make some decisions. So yeah. We'll have, that's the knee, that's the knee, that's the shoulder, and that's the shoulder. So we'll have control of that one and control of that one. And we'll stick them on there. Bum 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 bum. Shoulders. Yeah, we'll use that one. So, cycle subsystems, so we can target different things with the AI if we want to. Do friends on and off if we want to shoot friendlies for some reason, and neutrals on and off. Cool, so that'll be that, and that'll be that. So I've got rockets there. Try and fire. Turn off again. And I've got artillery cannons, which I can fire and turn off again. Right. Which LCDs could I use for them? And again, to be honest, I want screens for all the weapon systems realistically, even the ones that I'm not directly controlling, so I know that they're online. So we might do... They've all been named, they're already taken up. That. That's the missiles there. Ugh, I'm not going to be able to do this as neatly and as symmetrically as I'd usually like to. So... might have those outer two as the artillery cannons. Yeah, you know, I'll figure that out later. I'm going to wrap this stream up in a little bit, so... let's have one quick last little look around the place. So, that is our neck access back into the main body. And like I was demonstrating at the beginning, we've got a barracks in here with a whole bunch of storage. And it's all pressurized in here so far. Then we've got a little mess hall over here where we can get some food once I have set up the farms to actually produce food. I don't think there's anything in here yet. Oh yeah, I was going to put some algae farms somewhere on this build so we can passively make algae. Then we've got our little power station right in the centre of the mech with a bunch of big batteries and a big reactor. And we've got cargo storage back here. Have I got... No, I haven't, because there's never enough room for everything on my damn toolbar. Where are they? There they are. Yeah, one of them on the front of that has a little bit of a cover, and then that's some storage for a whole bunch of stuff. Need to change some of the lighting in here to match the rest of it. Let's slap a couple more of these on here. That can go there. That can go on there. I think we need to add better lighting in here eventually. Do that later. And then we've got the refinery in here. That doesn't need anything covering it up because it's all piped in. Oh, actually, let's slap one on there. Because I don't like having those conveyor ports exposed. Oh yeah, that door needs automating as well. This one's already automated, thank God. Oh yeah, that's a farm that needs sorting out. It's got all the bits in place, just need to set the farm up with some seeds and things. Signage here. O2 and medical bay and things are upstairs. Access to the missile bays is also up here as well. And there's rooms that haven't got anything in them yet. We've got all of our O2, H2 stuff in here. But I haven't got enough room to cover these ugly caps, so there's not much we can do about that. And no, yeah, that's just empty space, so I haven't decided what I'm doing with that yet. Okay, right, so... let's get down here. So, for the last little bit of the stream, let's just set off all the weapons at once, eh? Is this the right way? It is the right way. Right, go back to the bridge. Right. Let's get a bit closer to him. Yeah, 21 million kilos this thing weighs now. Bit excessive. Right, we are in range of him now. Let's try and get a slightly better angle. Yeah, right, so let's activate all of our weapon systems. Let's also do a little bit of a save so I don't have to clean up a pile of garbage afterwards. Right, what we've got, that's the head control. Arm, rockets. Oh yeah, let's also allow some damage. There we go. Let's turn on some missiles. And let's fire some missiles. Ooh, it's all going a bit mad. And let's also fire everything up there as well. Ooh, I don't know where those missiles are going. Where are they going? Fire some more missiles, why not? Yeah, yeah, the AI starts going a bit weird when I start launching all of them at once. Where are some of those missiles going? Well, there's not much left of him now. Where are these lot going? Where are they headed to? Mysterious. No idea what those lot are going off to fight. Hello, William. What's that? Are there any base game turrets, or are they all custom? No, they're all custom. I haven't used any base game turrets. I rarely do, to be honest, because I like building things from scratch. So they're all custom turret designs. You've gone a bit weird. Oh, you've probably run out of materials, haven't you? Yeah, you'll have run out of materials. And that's why some of that stuff's not been rebuilt. Yeah, that seems to be working again. Turn that on again. Why is that lot not fired? Yeah, something might have broken over there. Oh well. I'll fix it next time. Off they go. More missiles. Oh, they're actually all targeting and connecting properly this time. Or at least some of them are. One of them's off into the distance again. Strange. Okay. Right, well, I am going to leave this stream here for now. Oh yeah, I've got all of these screens that need sorting out as well at some point. So yeah, I'm going to leave this stream. Oop. Off go those guns again. What's that? Oh, that's come off a missile. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there for now. And I will be back on Sunday evening to do more of my Apex Mechs survival playthrough. And hopefully my internet connection will be better by then. So thank you all for watching. And thank you all for chatting. Oh, what's that? Lord Psychon. One last quick question. How long was this build? I have been tinkering with this on and off for over a year, trying to figure out how to get everything to work properly. But yeah, this thing is nearly there. He will be on the workshops at some point soon, as well as all of the associated mods that go with him. And my internet is crapping out again, so yeah, I'm going to call it here. So yeah, I'll be back on Sunday for more Apex Mech Survival. So yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for chatting, goodbye for now.